Hi everybody, my name is Julia Yearout. I'm a current UGA Collegiate 4-H member. I'm a rising senior majoring in fisheries and wildlife with an emphasis in wildlife science. And today I'm going to be talking to you about something I'm very passionate about. But it's something that some people look at as really scary or gross or weird. And a lot of this is because there's some really awful false myths about my friend. And it really breaks my heart because I just wish that people would know the truth. So today, if you can look at my earrings and maybe guess what these are, we're going to be talking about bats. So I wanted to actually debunk some myths that you have probably heard about bats. And these myths have come from a lot of internet rumors and Hollywood films. So today, we're going to get rid of those myths and you're going to learn the facts today. So the first myth I want to address is that bats suck your blood. This is false. There are species of bats that live in South America and other places besides the US and Canada that actually do suck blood, but they primarily suck blood of livestock. The bats that live around here are what we call insectivores, meaning that they only eat insects. A lot of the insects that make up their diet include moths, mosquitoes, beetles, dragonflies, and grasshoppers. And this actually is really great that they eat these things because not only does it help us get away with those pesky bugs when we're trying to sit around a nice campfire at night, but it also helps farmers around Georgia, as we know that Georgia is super big and known for their agriculture. It helps them with pest control. So bats are all around great and super helpful here in Georgia. The second myth that I want to debunk today is that bats only live in caves. This is partially true. There are a lot of species of bats, such as the tricolored bat, that utilize caves as habitat. But did you know that a lot of other species of bats actually utilize different structures and different things such as trees as habitat? We have 16 species of bats in Georgia, and most all of them will actually live in a tree or another structure at some point in their life. Some of these bats, as an example, are the eastern red bat. They actually will hang from trees. They're known as a foliage roosting species, meaning that they hang from the foliage of trees and they'll look just like a leaf. So in the fall, when the leaves are changing colors, those red bats that are red will blend straight in and you'll never know that there's a bat there. Another species of bats that utilizes trees as habitat is actually the Raffinesque big ear bat. They are super cute and have these really cute large ears. And these bats will actually utilize the big cypress trees that you find in the marshes and the wetlands down in South Georgia as habitat. These trees are usually hollow in the middle because they decay really quickly, and they'll actually live up inside the tree so they can go out the top and out the bottom. So it's actually really interesting that bats will use those trees as habitat. They also are known to use bridges and old buildings and culverts as habitats. The third myth I want to bust today is that bats are blind. Now, most people think this because they hear that bats use this thing called echolocation, which is true. Bats do use echolocation, but it's not because they're blind. Bats actually have really great eyesight that they utilize very well. But echolocation is like an extra sense almost that they use to help them hunt. It's something I think that makes bats super special and super cool. So I want to explain how echolocation actually works. So if you think of a submarine and they send out those sonar signals, that's kind of what bats do as well. They'll send out these signals, and when it hits something that it's looking for, or just something in general, so say pretend there's a moth right here. Pretend my hand right here is a moth. So it'll come out and it'll hit the moth and bounce back. As that moth gets closer, the time it takes for that signal to come back to that bat's tragus, which is the thing right here in the ear that receives the echolocation signals, gets shorter. That time gets shorter, meaning and telling the bat that the prey is close. And so it's actually a really cool thing that they use to help them hunt, but it doesn't mean that they're blind. The fourth and final myth that I want to bust today is that bats will purposely attack you and they'll give you rabies. This is false. Bats will not purposely attack you. If they attack you, it's very rare. Most people think that bats will attack them because they'll be trapped in their home somehow, and the bat just wants to get outside and you don't want them inside, and so it'll just be a miscommunication. Bats want to be left alone as much as you want to be left alone. But there is partial truth to the rabies part. Bats are known to carry rabies, and as researchers we have to take precautions to make sure that we're safe from this. So when it comes to you at home, if you see a bat on the ground or one is trapped in your house, don't try to pick it up yourself. You don't want to risk that. So it kind of goes with the same rule of finding a baby raccoon or a mama raccoon on the side of the road that's injured. You don't want to pick up the raccoon because it's not worth the risk. So if you find a bat and you think it needs help, call your local animal control or call a licensed wildlife rehabilitator. They are licensed and able to take care of that, and they're also probably rabies vaccinated, so that way they are able to take care of it safely. Even though bats do great things for us, they have unfortunately been declining recently due to many factors. One of these is white nose syndrome. White nose is a fungus that came to the United States in 2006 and Georgia in 2013. Since then, we have seen a big decrease in bats because of how quickly and easily this fungus kills bats. The fungus grows on the bats when they lower their body temperature when hibernating in caves and other colder places, and is equivalent to a really itchy and burning rash. They wake up many times during hibernation to clean off this fungus from their face, ears, and wings, and end up using their stored fat in the winter, causing them to look for food. The bats end up starving because they cannot find food in the wintertime. Another cause of decline in bats is habitat loss due to deforestation. If you're wondering how you can help, there unfortunately is not a cure or preventative for white nose, so it's important to make sure to decontaminate your gear after going to a cave that is known to have WNS. The links to how to decontaminate are linked, but something more practical you can do with your family is to build a bat house. This is really easy and fun to do and will bring many benefits to you and your family as well as the bats. By building a bat house, you provide a habitat for the bats and pest control for your home. Bat houses are easy to build, and if you don't want to get supplies yourself, you can even buy kits and just put them together. Thanks so much for joining me today. I had such a fun time explaining some things to you about bats. I hope that you learned something new. Check out the link in the description for the bat box, and also there's a link to some really cool crafts so you can make your own bat friend to have in your house with you. So thanks again, and go dogs!